What is up, my ninjas? Shinobi here, bringing you guys a patch 2.5 guide for the Witch Doctor, more specifically a speed farming build for Season 10. Season 10 is coming up this Friday, March 31st. I will definitely be streaming and going ham on the season, so you guys are welcome to come check out my live stream. Link is in the description. You're watching a little bit of this gameplay right now, and the reason why I'm going to be talking about the Witch Doctor today is because it's the class I'm going to be maining for Season 10. I may do some other things as well. Mainly I want to play it because it's really nice in groups, it's really nice for solo, it's a really well-rounded class, has a lot of cool speed farming builds, and this is going to be one of them right here. As you can see, I'm currently speed farming in the background a Greater Rift 70, and my gear is pretty suboptimal. I do have higher paragons, but my gear is not very good. I wanted to do that on purpose so that way you can kind of see what it would be like maybe a few days into the season. This is something you'd be doing if you have the appropriate gear, and most of the gear for this is actually pretty easy to get. So let's go ahead and switch over and talk about this build, and I'll show you a little bit of gameplay myself, walk through how to do it and all that kind of stuff. So we are using here the Zunimassa set. It recently got buffed to 2500% damage increase for your pets for 8 seconds after you hit enemies with a mana spender, which we will be doing that. This is also the first set that you get for doing your season journey, so this is also another reason why you're going to be wanting to play this set so early into the season, and maybe even the later parts of the season as well. There are some good pushing solo builds out there, which I'll be bringing more of that stuff to you guys in the future as well. But Zunimassa is in a pretty good spot right now, and worst case scenario, it's a really strong speed farming set. I wanted to do a speed farming set that wasn't just for rifts, farming DBs and farming keys, but more so for doing that, which you can definitely do with this very nicely. And then you can also speed farm greater rifts as well if you want to level up gems for some augments, get your augments prepped, if you want to just farm legendaries and things of that sort. Now this build in particular is more for the solo speed farming. I will talk a little bit about if you wanted to change this into a group one, if you want to speed farm some 60s, 65s, 70s with some friends. Yeah, and pretty much also this build right here is also going to be able to get you to Greater Rift 70 plus pretty early in the season, which means you're going to be able to find primal ancient legendaries, because you have to complete a 70 plus in order to find primal ancient legendaries, which you're going to want for your end game character. So yeah, this is Zunimassa is going to be the way that you're going to want to do this, and you may do a couple variations too, depending on the items that you found. Let's go ahead and get into all the build here. I'll explain everything. I'll show you a little bit of gameplay as well of me going through. So we are using the 6-piece Zunimassa set. Like I said, it's a starter set that you're going to get. It's super important. So you're going to get for your 2-piece, your fetish army lasts until they die, and you're pretty much going to have fetish army up like all the time. You and your pets take 3% less damage for every fetish that you have alive, so this is very nice for you to have some good survivability with this. It's going to be very nice for you. And then the 6-piece that got buffed there, we talked about before, is up to 2500% now. It makes it so your gargantuans hit like absolute trucks, and it's pretty much the main part about all of this right here. So there's our 6-piece here. We're using the shoulders because you don't really have much choice for shoulders, and mantle channeling is not bad. So you're going to get some damage reduction, you're going to get some damage increase as well, because you are using fire bats. Now, as far to the bracers, we're using coils of the first spider. Now, this is not something that's going to be using Sacred Harvester and Lacumba bracers because you don't really have room for it. In your cube, you're going to be using Ingeon, as you can see right here, and then also you're going to be using your combo with Mana Jumas, so you're not going to have room for Sacred Harvester. Now, if you were playing in a group and you wanted to do a group version of this, because we are using Unity, the double Unity combo that helps you take less damage. If you wanted to play in a group and do something like this, then I would just say get rid of the Ingeom in your cube, put a Sacred Harvester in there, and wear Lacumbas. This is going to give you more survivability that you need, and then it's also going to, you're not going to have the Ingeom, so you're not going to be able to throw down your Gargantuans as often, but because you're in a group, that'll even out, right? So that's something you can do in speed farming groups like 65, 70s, 75s, things like that. That's if you're not in like some kind of, meta pre-made group or something like that. This is not a meta pre-made build. This is more specifically just for speed farming itself. Whether you want to do a solo or you change it up like that if you want to do it in groups. So coming over here now, we also have the Hellfire Amulet. This is going to be pretty easy for you to get early into the season. It's just you go around and kill stuff, kill things in the axe, and then just go do Ubers. You're gonna get a decent Hellfire Amulet pretty quickly. We'll talk about some passives in a little bit. I'm gonna be using the Belt of Transcendence, also a pretty easy item to find. Most of these items, except for Unity, are pretty easy to find in general for the Witch Doctor. So yeah, Belt of Transcendence is going to be nice because you're going to summon Fetish Sycophants when you hit with Mana Spender, which you're going to, and you need to get those fetishes up to give you that survivability, and it helps a little bit of CC control, which we'll talk about a little bit more as I show you the demonstration. Obviously, we're going to be using Shortman's Finger, because Shortman's Finger is really nice, and it's going to give you those massive gargantuans that are going to do crazy damage, so you definitely have to have this for sure. Like I said before, the Manajuma's Carving Knife, this is going to just give us mobility here. We just want to get from elite to elite to elite to elite and just keep on going. We want to move quickly throughout the Greater Rift. Now, with that said, we're going to be also using Enforcer, because obviously it's all about that pet damage. You're going to be using Bane of the Trap, because you're going to be close to things, which is really great. And then you're also going to be using Bane of the Powerful. You can use Taeguk instead if you want, but usually things die so quickly that you're not going to have time to really utilize the Taeguk. And Bane of the Powerful is going to be a legendary gem that you're going to get very early in the season, so this is something that you will most likely have early on, but there are other things you can do. There's a lot of little variations you can do to this setup, depending on the gear that you find. Then talking about the cube, like I said, we have Ingeom, going to reduce cooldowns by 10 seconds for 15 seconds after killing elite packs. This is going to enable you to keep putting down those gargantuans, and I'll explain why that's important pretty soon. Mask of Jerem is one of the go-to items for a Witch Doctor to get, especially for a Zunimassa Witch Doctor in the early parts of the season. This is something you're going to be gambling for as quick as possible, because you're going to be using starter setups that are going to involve pets, because they just carry you pretty early in the season. And then with something like this, you're going to want to have Mask of Jerem. So Mask of Jerem is definitely important. And then you're going to have Arena Royal Grandeur, which you can just get from doing bounties in Act 1. So like I said, all of this stuff is pretty easy to get gear-wise. Most of my stuff isn't even ancient. It's mostly not ancient. And I don't have any augments or anything like that in this gear. And I've also tried it out with putting my Paragon down like really low, and it's still very good. It's not as efficient, so if you're lower Paragon in the beginning of the season, say you're like Paragon 300, 400, which you can get pretty quickly, then you'll probably be just speed farming like T10s, T11s, maybe T13s, but not like super efficiently. And then once you get a little bit higher Paragon, you get a little bit better gear, you're going to be moving up and up and up in that difficulty and be able to speed farm. Like I was doing a 70 in like 3-4 minutes, so that's very fast to be able to do a 70 for this type of gear, not augmented, not this, not that, right? So you do a lot of damage. It's very, very good. So let's go ahead and get into the setup here for the build. We're going to be using the Cold Gargantuan, because it's just the best one. Massive damage, really good. So that's going to be the resistance. That's going to be the elemental we're going to be looking for, as you saw on my bracers, getting that cold on there. And also got a little bit of cold on the Hellfire Amulet. We're using Vampire Bats from Fire Bats. The main reason for this is it's just an easy tool to enable you to put a mana spender on things, and then it's also going to work really well so you can use it longer, so that you can get more healing off of coils and also the damage reduction off of coils. So it's just very nice for you in general. You see it's going to pop that, and you see my mana just going up now, and I can just spray everything and just get my mana spender on everything, and my pets just do bonus damage to all that stuff. Spirit Walk, Honored Guest, this is just going to be for the times. You don't really need the other benefits of like the extra duration, the extra movement speeds, and things like that. You mainly just want a little bit of mana every once in a while to help you out, to make sure you have mana just in case you use a little bit too much. We use the Hex Angry Chicken. This is for your mobility, right, like we talked about with Manajumas. And then we're also going to be using Fetish Army Legion of Daggers, because you get more fetishes from this. It's more survivability, and it's just better in general for you. And then we're using Piranhas, Piranha NATO. It's going to be really nice to bring everything together for you, get a damage bonus on that, and enable it so you get mobs on top of your gargantuans. You want to use the piranhas around your gargantuans, so that way things get on top of them and the gargantuans hit the right targets. Going to be using Spirit Vessel here. You could instead go with Bad Medicine, but they both essentially do the same thing. They're both going to give you the survivability that you need. I kind of prefer Spirit Vessel, especially for the earlier parts of the season when you're not as geared. Grave Injustice can be really good to help you get that those cooldowns back. Super important. Swampland Attunement going to give you some nice survivability. You could maybe even switch this out for Bad Medicine, but you know, there's going to be a lot of density in these rifts and greater rifts, so this is going to give you some survivability here. And then Confidence Ritual is going to give you a 25% damage increase by things that are around you, and that's you're going to be standing close to your targets anyway. Now, as far as the stats go on the gear, what it is you're going to be looking for? You want to get around, from my estimation, you want to get about 30% cooldown or higher. Not that difficult to get. You just get a cooldown gem up here, and then just try to get cooldown in any places you can. Alright guys, let's go ahead and show you some gameplay action and me going through and explaining this for you. So before we go into a rift or a greater rift, we're just going to pop our pets right here. It doesn't really matter for a greater rift, but we're just going to be showing you a T13 rift right now. I did show you a 70 greater rift earlier, but this is going to be like just an example of the gameplay and explain a little bit of what I'm doing here. So first off, what we need to do right in the beginning is we need to build up our fetishes. So you see we're just going to be grabbing some stuff right off the bat here and just using our mana spenders, our fire bats, just to get up to 15. You can see our fetishes up on the top left are up to 15 now, so we're full and we're good to go. So now let's just go ahead and run through and let's find some elites, shall we? Not a very good rift level for this, but at least we're getting through quickly and we don't have to really worry about taking our time here. Alright, so we're just going to be, that's it, I'm just going to pop everything like I just did right there. And I got knocked, I was playing a little bit more aggressive, I got knocked into that beam. So there we go. So that's it. You just want to drop all your cooldowns right when you get to the target, you get to the elites, and then blow everything up and then just keep going. That's all you want to do. Simple as that. And stand in the ground damage buff from Oculus Ring whenever it is up and get some more damage bonus there. And we're just going to head down and find another elite. So here's a double pack right here, and we actually got all of our stuff up. So like I said, 30% or more cooldown feels about right, and that enables you to get your gargantuans up when you need them, so that way you can just keep killing more stuff and just going through. You can use this, like I said, for farming DBs. You can use this for farming greater rift keystones. You can use this for farming greater rifts. You can use this for farming a whole bunch. Try and get those primals as much as you want, right? And we're just gonna pop all of our stuff once again right here. Try and kill this before the arcane gets to us. And that's it. So all I'm doing is I'm just putting my fire bats on them so we can get those the spender damage on them. So we can just keep getting a damage bonus for our pets, and we want to put our pets right beside the mobs so that they can do all the damage right to the mobs, right here. Like you see how I do it right now. Put it right beside him, so he's the one taking all the damage right off the back. That's the only one we care about is him, and then we move on. Just like that. Simple as that. Very easy. My gear is not even that good. If you had, better gear, you're going to be farming, 75s, 80s, speed farm doing this, no problem. And that's pretty awesome to be able to farm, that kind of greater rift tier so quickly on the solo end. And like I said, you can do this in a group as well. You just want to change out, the unity is not going to be any use to you, so you don't want to use a double unity combo. All you're going to be wanting to use is the using like Lakumbas with a Sacred Harvester to give you that extra survivability, or maybe your friends are using some like IP or something from the barb, so you won't really have to worry about the extra survivability anyway in that situation. So we're just going to pop all our stuff once again, and we're just going to kill this guy and let him die. Gonna get out of that so I don't die. And that's the only thing that kind of sucks is when you get molten, you get these explosions, you have to like kind of wait to pick up these DBs. Unless you have your spirit walk up, you can just grab it and go, But I like to use a spirit walk as like just an extra form of survivability right here while I'm setting everything up. There we go, just get all my mana spender, my fire bats on these guys. My gargantuans are hitting the right targets, and they're dead. Just like that. Easy as that, guys. Hope you guys are excited for Season 10. Remember to check out my live stream channel. I'll be streaming pretty much every day, doing a lot of power levels for people, helping people out in the seasons like we always do. And hope to see you guys there. Links down in the description down below. And that's it for today. So hopefully you guys enjoy this, have a lot of fun with it. Zunimassa is definitely, worst case scenario, going to be fun for even if it's just a fun starter build for you to help you get some speed farming going on and just get you going in the start of a season. You know, that's great in itself, and it has a potential to be a nice pushing build as well. Just with some variations. Obviously, we're not going to be using some of the stuff that I'm using. If you want to change this into like a solo pushing build, maybe I'll talk about that a little bit more in the future. But tune in for more videos and especially more live streams over my live stream channel, like I said, linked down in the description below. And until next time, guys, my name is Shinobi, and thanks for watching.